Says Halacha Yomi. We were talking about the laws of telling a non-Jew to do Melacha for you on Shabbat. So we were talking about leniency yesterday of Psik Reshe, right? If action A automatically leads to action B, a Jew is not allowed to do it, right? So turning on hot water will cause, for sure, new water to get cooked. So you're not allowed to do it. But a goy, if you ask a goy to do it, since Psik Reshe doesn't apply by a goy, so you're allowed to ask the Gentile to turn on the hot water, and even though it causes more hot water to get cooked on Shabbat. That concept doesn't apply by a non-Jew. Okay, next leniency. Asking a non-Jew to perform, page 379, asking a non-Jew to perform Melacha during Ben Hashmashot. What's Ben Hashmashot? So we have sunset, which halachically is when the sun starts setting. And then we have this twilight time between there's Safek Yom, Safek Laila. It's between sunset and emergence of the 3 stars, Tzedek Chavim. So during this time, we halachically are strict and we keep Shabbat already from sunset. Sunset, we don't do Melacha. But it's not 1,000% clear that it's Shabbat. We're just out of doubt, we're keeping Shabbat. By Tzedek Chavim, we know for sure it's already Shabbat. Question is, in twilight time, during Ben Hashmashot, the Chachamim were lenient with their rulings, and they permitted to do certain things that they said it's forbidden to do on Shabbat. For example, telling a goy to do Melacha for you, that they say is only forbidden during Shabbat. But during Ben Hashmashot, if it's for a mitzvah reason, you'd be allowed to tell a non-Jew to do something for you during Ben Hashmashot, okay? Or, even better, let's say a case where a person accepts Shabbat early, right? And it's still daytime outside. We're going to see that case as well. 33, it is permitted to ask a non-Jew to perform even a biblically prohibited melacha on your behalf during Ben Hashmashot if you need the melacha done for a mitzvah or extreme need or a substantial financial loss. Okay? So therefore, this applies both Ben Hashmashot Friday night and Ben Hashmashot Saturday night as well. So let's say it's past sunset Saturday night, and you need to ask a goy to do something for you, and it's Ben Hashmashot of Saturday night, it's not Tzedek Chavim yet, you're allowed to also ask if there's a great need, a mitzvah need, a substantial loss involved. You're allowed to ask a non-Jew to do even a biblical melacha. Last time we said the formula usually is shvud shvud. You usually need to ask a goy to only do a rabbinic melacha, right? You can't ask him to do a raita on Shabbat. But in this case, since it's not formally Shabbat, it's Ben Hashmashot, so therefore you'll be allowed to ask him. Okay, 34. One who forgot to light Shabbat candles Erev Shabbat, but has electric lights in his house. One may not even ask a non-Jew to light Shabbat candles on your behalf. However, if one does not have any other lights on, you're allowed to ask the non-Jew to light the Shabbat candles without reciting a bracha, if it's still during Ben Hashmashot. Number 36, it's permitted to ask a non-Jew to perform Melacha during Ben Hashmashot if it's for the purpose of a mitzvah. For example, let's say Yom Tov falls out on Motzei Shabbat, and one will have many guests. It is permitted to ask a non-Jew to set the table for the Yom Tov meal during Ben Hashmashot. Okay. Let's say you accept a Shabbat early, right? 37. One who accepts a Shabbat early may ask a non-Jew to do Melacha for him. Hear this? I prayed Plag Minyan. I accept Shabbat while it's still daytime. I come home. We forgot to turn on a light in the house. We can't use this room without this light. So I'm allowed to ask the goy to go turn on the light. But it's Shabbat already. How can you ask to turn on the light? No, I accepted Shabbat early. It's still not Shabbat yet.
You can ask a Jew also to do that.
Who didn't accept Shabbat. Right, but let's say everyone in my house accepts Shabbat.
Yeah,
so then you can still ask the non-Jew. Okay, good. But in general, let's say it's actually formally Shabbat. It's Friday night in the middle of the night. It's Saturday day during the day. It's Shabbat 100%. It's not Ben Hashmashot. What am I allowed to ask a goy? I'm allowed to ask a goy only to do rabbinic melachot for the sake of a mitzvah, for the sake of a loss, for the sake of suffering. Those usually are the main reasons, right? Or human dignity, kavod habriot. We're going to see that's another case that's usually permitted to ask a non-Jew to do a melacha. Okay, some examples of potential loss. If one left an expensive electrical appliance, 383. Person left an expensive electrical appliance on over Shabbat, and one was afraid it'll be ruined or will cause damage by being left on, one may ask a non-Jew to turn it off. However, if one just wants the appliance to be turned off to save money on the electric bill, it's not considered a substantial financial loss. Okay, if the plug to one's fridge or freezer disconnected, and one is afraid that the food within it will spoil, it is permitted to ask a non-Jew to plug it back in. Why? Because it's a rabbinic melacha, and it's for the sake of a financial loss, so it'll be allowed. Okay, mitzvah need, let's say. It's permitted to ask a non-Jew to perform a rabbinically prohibited melacha that is needed for Shabbat meal, right? This means only for the things you need essential for the meal. What's essential for a meal on Shabbat? You need wine, and you need bread. So let's say you can't get wine or bread without doing a melacha. So you're allowed to ask a non-Jew to do it if it's a rabbinically prohibited melacha. One who needs wine for kiddush, bread, or a main dish may ask a non-Jew to perform a rabbinic prohibited melacha in order to bring it to him, such as asking him to carry the item through a place where it's a carmelit. What's a carmelit? It's a rabbinically prohibited area to carry. You ask a non-Jew. Okay, fine. Here it is. Where is this? Okay, let's go to the next case. 62, page 387. It is permitted to ask a non-Jew to perform a rabbinical melacha in order to preserve human dignity. For example, A, if one's toilet is clogged on Shabbat and it's emitting a repulsive odor, and you don't have any other toilet in the house, it is permitted to ask a non-Jew to unclog the blockage. Usually, if you clog a toilet on Shabbat, are you allowed to unclog it? No. We learned that that's considered, fashioning a vessel. But with this, that you were able to clear the pipe and you made it usable, that's considered fashioning a vessel on Shabbat. And that's rabbinic in nature. But for the sake of human dignity, that we should be able to go to the bathroom, you're allowed to ask a non-Jew to unclog it when it's clogged, even though you yourself can't do it. Okay. C, one who forgot to cut toilet paper on Shabbat may ask a non-Jew to cut some toilet paper for him. Why? Because if I don't have toilet paper, how are we going to go to the bathroom? So therefore, since I can't cut it myself, rip it on the line by myself, or even not on the line, I'm allowed to ask a non-Jew to do it for the sake of myself. Let's say a person's, God forbid, his car alarm went off on Shabbat. It's blasting and blaring. It's causing the disturbance of the neighborhood. It's permitted to hint to a non-Jew to turn off the alarm sound, and even to show him the button that he needs to press. Okay.
You can't find a non-Jew.
Yeah, you can't do it yourself. You're not allowed to break Shabbat. Okay. Let's say you got home and you lost your keys, or something happens sometimes. People will lock themselves out of their house. They lock themselves, the keys inside the house. What do? 64. If one lost the keys to his house, he may ask a non-Jew to break the door open of his house if he has nowhere else to eat or sleep. However, if possible, he should ask a non-Jew to ask another non-Jew. Okay, we're going to learn next time about turning on lights, what to do with lights, turning off lights, when do you have to hint, and when do you not have to hint, and if a goy did a melacha for you, are you allowed to benefit from it or not? That we're going to do next time. Baruch Amen.